If you're watching this, it means that you're alive. Congratulations. Now, because you're alive, it's a good time to learn about chemistry and about the science behind it. So you remember that yesterday we talked about a couple gentlemen, actually more than a couple, that really helped formulate the understanding of atoms that we have today. And we started with a guy called Democritus, who lived about 400 BC or so, maybe. And so he was the first guy to say, or the first guy that's recorded saying, matter is made up of tiny little spheres, right? That matter is not uniform, it is not just a blanket of matter, that our skin and everything else is made up of tiny little spheres. And along came Mr. Dalton, and Dalton said, yeah, I agree with that, but he actually did some math, and he figured out 4 statements that were true, and if you guys remember those that are in your book, okay, by the way, if you're following along, we're starting up on page 44. And so Dalton basically grabbed Democritus' ideas and he put them into writing, and he used math to kind of prove it, right? And then after him, you had somebody called Mr. Thomson. Now, if you remember, Mr. Thomson was the guy that ran a light through 2 magnets, positive and negative. And he found out that there was part of the light that veered towards the positive side, and then the rest of the light just kept going straight. And so he said there must be some negative particles inside of the atom. It can't just be what Dalton and Democritus said, it's a little ball. And so Mr. Thomson, I hope I'm not butchering his name, he came out with a model of the atom that's sometimes called the plum pudding, because it looks like some raisins inside of a little cake. But what Mr. Thomson came up with is the idea of electrons, negatively charged particles that exist inside of the atom. He said, I don't think the atoms are empty inside, I think that they have something in there. Which brings us to Mr. Rutherford.